I have very mixed feelings about Your Lie in April. I honestly think this show had so much potential to be amazing, but it was just executed terribly, in my opinion at least. Now, before I go ahead and delve into why I don't really find this show as amazing as people say, I do want to preface that I'm not one to say things are overrated. Like, this is probably, I just don't like doing that, but for me, this show is one of the few shows that I do have this opinion on, that it is indeed overrated. So to start off, why I think the show had so much potential, I think the show's story itself, the story outline, was really good. I think it had a lot of potential if it was just directed better. The music was amazing. The animation was amazing. It was just, it had all the tools necessary for it to be amazing, but it just wasn't executed well at all. Okay, I shouldn't say at all. That's bad. I meant like it just wasn't executed well. Let's go ahead and start off with why I don't think it was executed that well. The first thing I can think of was it was pretty predictable, to be honest. It was honestly pretty obvious that the blonde girl was going to die and that she had a crush on the MC. I didn't really get why, like, if that was supposed to be like a reveal or something. Instead, I honestly, at the end, when I remember watching this show a few years back, I haven't watched it since, by the way. I just remember the points of why I didn't like this show, so you can correct me if I'm wrong later. And I will read it, don't worry. But I remember that it was revealed in the letter that she liked him instead. But I remember in the end, I was so confused, like not so confused, but like a little confused because I didn't know that her crush on him was supposed to be a reveal. I honestly, it was so obvious to me that I was just like, well, yeah, she has a crush on him. I knew for instantly that the Watari, his name was Watari, I forgot his name, but the orange, the brown haired kid, I knew that that crush was fake. It was kind of obvious to me that in the end, I legitimately thought that, like, I didn't know that that was supposed to be a reveal. I thought it was kind of obvious that she had a crush on the MC. So when they did that reveal, I was a little confused. Like, oh wait, that was supposed to be a reveal? My bad. Yeah, no, it honestly doesn't matter to me that something is obvious, by the way. I can still feel emotion when something is obvious, but this didn't make me feel emotion in the end. It didn't, honestly. And something doesn't have to be unpredictable for me to feel emotion for it. For instance, in I Want to Eat Your Pancreas, it still made me emotional during the scenes leading up to her death, and even her unexpected death was a twist. It doesn't even have to be a death too. Something as simple as like Sanji leaving his old crew made me cry so much. It really did. It was probably the most I've cried in a while from a show. Sanji leaving his old crew to join the Straw Hats. Just the backstory with him and just it really, even though I knew he was gonna leave to join the Straw Hats, I still felt emotion during that. But in this case, I didn't really. I just don't think it was executed that well. I don't think it really was. It was quite obvious, like I said, that she was going to die. It wasn't something that was unpredictable to me. It was pretty obvious. But number two as well, just the lie itself in the end wasn't something that was necessary. Like, I didn't really get why she lied, to be honest, when in the end she was gonna tell him anyway through a letter. Like, you might as well have told him then. That way you guys can still be close together, at least for the little time that you had. Like, I get it that you wanted to spare him the hurt, but why did you even tell him through the letter then, if you weren't gonna tell him anyway? I just don't think it was very necessary for her to lie about something like that. I personally didn't really like any of the characters. I don't know. I just didn't really get attached to any of them. There wasn't enough build up with these characters together to get attached. Like, there was no actual true interaction, in my opinion, or true development through like talking and them being together to make me feel any way to them, like even like to them grieving and stuff. I didn't really feel too bad. The MC had a really good storyline with him, but he himself was just kind of boring, to be honest. But I did feel bad for him. Like, they low-key forced this dude to go through his PTSD trauma. Like, they forced him to do it. So I'm just like, I feel kind of bad for him. But yeah, I personally didn't like any of the characters, and the two added and like this added side characters just kind of felt like filler. I mean, no, I don't think it felt like filler. I think it did help a little bit, but I don't know. I don't really care too much about them. But the music was great, so I guess that's fine. As for the other characters, I'm saying this right now, I hate tsunderes. I might make a video on it soon, but I freaking hate tsunderes. Tsunderes are like my least favorite anime trope. I do not like them at all. They're so annoying. I do not like them, and both of the love interests were tsunderes. So that really, really, really made me, like, that made it even worse for me to not like any of the main characters, because oh my gosh, I hate tsunderes. It does not make sense to me. I do not like them. I do not like them at all. I do not think it's cute. I do not think it's anything like that. I hate tsunderes. But yeah, so I know I'm kind of all over the place here, but at the end of the day, I just think this show is not a bad show. I don't think it was, like, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad show. It really isn't. And I can see why people like it, but I definitely don't think it deserves the credit that it has. I don't think it's one of the greatest shows of all time. I think it had the potential to be one. I think it had the potential to be one of the greatest animes of all time, but it was executed terribly, so it just brings it down. The potential is just out of this world, but the execution was just average. Like I said, had amazing music, animation was amazing, the story itself, like what they were trying to execute was amazing, but the execution, the way they made the characters interact, the way they made them develop, the way just all that happened, just the way they did everything just was executed bad, and which made the story that could have been amazing, in my opinion, average. Anyway, with all that being said, thank you for hearing my opinion about this. If there's anything I missed, I haven't seen the show in a while, so I'm welcome to read anything and any opinions or thoughts below for what I may have missed, or maybe you might want to correct me on some things. But like I said, thank you for joining me, and if you have any suggestions on future topics, please let me know. And with all that being said, have a great day. Bye.